Hello friends, good morning to all of you. Here I am again back with locomotion and movement part 1 of 11th standard. In this session we are going to discuss about locomotion and locomotory movement, type of movement, muscle and types of muscle. So let us start the session. First of all, it is about locomotion and locomotory movement. Locomotion is the movement of an animal as a whole from one place to another. Locomotion takes several forms such as walking, running, climbing, flying, swimming, creeping, hopping, etc. As such, it is very difficult to separate movement from locomotion. But locomotion and movement may be linked. All locomotion are movement, whereas all movements are not locomotion. Locomotion is generally for search of food, shelter, mate, suitable breeding ground, favorable climatic condition, or to escape from enemies or predator. Now let us move towards the types of movement. Movements in animals are two main types, non-muscular and muscular. Non-muscular movements includes amoeboid movement, ciliary movement, and flagellar movement. Here we are going to discuss all the movements one by one. First, it is about amoeboid movement. Leukocytes and macrophages move about in the tissues with the help of cytopodia in the manner of amoeba. So, it is called as amoeboid movement. Cytoskeleton elements like microfilament also shows amoeboid movement. Here it in the figure which shows about the amoeboid movement of leukocyte. You may observe the cytopodia here. Now next is about ciliary movement. The cilia of the cell lining the trachea, oviducts and vasa efferentia help in removing dust particles, eggs and sperms respectively in a specific direction in these organs with the help of cilia. In flatworm, cilia of phlegm cells are responsible for removal of waste in excretory canal. Ciliary movement mostly occur in the internal tubular organ of the body which is lined by ciliary epithelium. This figure shows about the ciliary movement of trachea. Now the next type of non-muscular movement is flagellar movement that takes place with the help of flagella. The flagella of certain gastrodermal cells circulate fluid in the cylindron of hydra by regular beating action by flagella. Flagellar movement is also seen during the sperm movement in water or in female genital tract. In this diagram, you can visualize the flagellar movement of a sperm. Now let us discuss about muscular movement. Muscular movements takes place in our limbs, jaws, tongue, etc. They are found in the majority of animals and it is due to contractile property of muscle. Muscular movement may be locomotion, means movement of an animal as a whole from one place to another, or movement of body parts of the individual. This figure indicates about the muscular movement of body parts. Now let us discuss about the characteristic feature of muscles. Muscles are mesodermal in origin from the embryo and about 40 to 50% of our body weight is due to muscles present in our body. It shows the property of excitability. Means muscles respond to a stimulus which may be delivered from a motor neuron or a hormone. It shows conductivity. Conductivity means muscles have ability to receive a stimulus and transmit it. Next feature of muscle is contractility. Means it have ability to forcibly shorten. Another feature is extensibility. Meaning thereby is that muscles have ability to lengthen without muscle activation. Next property or feature is elasticity. Means muscles get stressed and lengthen and then return to original shape. Now next topic is about types of muscles. On the basis of location of muscles, they are of three different types. Skeletal muscle or striated muscle, also called as voluntary muscle. Second type is visceral muscle, smooth muscle or non-striated muscle. And the third type of muscle is cardiac muscle. So we are going to discuss each type of muscles one by one here. First is about skeletal muscle or a striated muscle. It is attached to and function in association with a skeleton, so called as a skeletal muscle. It causes limb movements and locomotion in vertebrates. The activities of skeletal muscles are under the voluntary control of the nervous system. There is presence of light and dark crossbands called striations whenever it is observed under microscope. Skeletal muscles are long, cylindrical, non-tapering and unbranched. They are multinucleated and nucleus are present towards the periphery. It is bounded by sarcolemma, that is plasma membrane, and contain in its sarcoplasm, that is cytoplasm, well-developed endoplasmic reticulum called as sarcoplasmic reticulum. Skeletal muscle helps in locomotion as well as changes in the posture of the body. Here in this figure, you may observe skeletal muscle or a striated muscle. You can visualize the light and dark striation here. Now let us discuss about smooth or non-striated muscle. It is not associated with bones but occurs in the inner wall of hollow visceral organs of the body like alimentary canal, reproductive tract, etc. A smooth muscle fiber is spindle shaped, that is tapering, uninucleate without striations. Nucleus is situated in the center of the cell. The smooth muscle is not under the voluntary control of nervous system. That is why it is called as involuntary muscle. It helps in transportation of food, transportation of ovum, etc. In the given figure, you may observe the spindle-shaped smooth muscles. Now the last type of muscle is cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle occurs in the wall of heart and helps in bringing the heartbeat. It is also not associated with bones. A cardiac muscle is cylindrical, uninucleate, but branched with faint striations. Cardiac muscle is also involuntary, means they are also not under the voluntary control of nervous system. This is the figure which depicts cardiac muscles. You may observe the branching of cardiac muscle here present in heart. In this figure, it is about all the three types of muscles at a glance for better understanding among the three. So this is all about today's session. Thank you. For any kind of doubts, please write your question in comment section.